Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ill Chill Will Show, and I'm your host, Will. This is episode 4. And I just want to thank y'all so much. This is a big milestone. I want to thank the supporters of the show, the return listeners, and if you're new, I ask that you come back. We got a great thing going over here, and I just want to thank y'all once again for supporting the show. In today's episode, we're going to get into the NFL schedule drop. I'm going to go week by week and talk about each game that I feel like is most intriguing to me. We're going to also talk about the NBA playoffs. Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals is kicking off this week, man. Final 4 teams left. Going to be big. We're going to also talk about this Diddy and Cassie situation. Very disturbing video that came out over the weekend, man. Very disturbing. We're going to get into that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the Let's Talk About It segment. The question of the week is, who's appreciated more in a relationship, a cheap man or a cheap woman? But first,
I said I'm ready for greatness. 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 I said I'm ready for. You learn to live no strings. I said I'm ready for greatness.
So the NFL dropped their schedule last week, and we finally have some more football to talk about, y'all. But we're gonna be hurry up and waiting once again, unfortunately. But at least we have something to talk about in the meantime. So let's get right into it. Week 1, the Chiefs and Ravens, easily the best game of week 1. This is the rematch of the AFC Championship game. Both teams had some key additions. The Chiefs, they added to their receiving core, something that they needed. We don't know what's going to happen with Bronchi Rice. Don't know how his suspension is going to go. They did add Xavier Worthy, the rookie receiver out of Texas, the speedster, man. He broke the 40-yard dash record in the combine. So that's huge. I'm interested to see what Andy Reid is going to do with him. And then last but not least, you got Marquise Brown, man. I mean, he's a very good receiver. I feel like he's very underrated. And I feel like Andy Reid is going to be able to do a lot of great things with him. The Ravens, they couldn't fall short. They don't fall short either. They have King Henry in the backfield to go along with Lamar Jackson. They lost OBJ in free agency, but I feel like this team going to be just fine, man, especially with Derrick Henry. But let's just hope they don't forget their identity like they did in the AFC Championship game and stop running the ball. Like, you got Derrick Henry to run him. So I'm hoping that, John Harbaugh is going to make sure they stick to the run because that's what caused them the AFC Championship game. But we're going to have to see. But let's move along to the other games that I feel like is going to be very good. The Packers and the Eagles, man. Jordan Love, he did his thing back half of the season. Had a great playoffs, put my Cowboys out of the playoffs, man. Big time heartbreaker, but hey, it is what it is. They did their thing. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's coming back, and they gave this man a running back. But why they had to give him Saquon Barkley, man? Giants fans, how y'all feel about that? Matter of fact, don't say nothing because I don't like the Giants anyway. I don't like the Giants. That's what y'all get. But Saquon, it's your fault, man. Why you had to come to the division? You should have went to the AFC. You should have went to Baltimore. But, hey, you with the daggone Eagles. I can't stand the Eagles either, man. Like, come on, man. Why? And then they have a nerve to still have the same team. I mean, where's the Eagles getting all this money from? But moving on to the next game, they did my Cowboys dirty, man. Cowboys versus Browns. I'm sorry, Dak might be on his back, man. Week 1. Got to play the Browns. One of the top defenses last year, and that's who we're playing week 1. Really? Come on, NFL. You can do better. You can do better. Jerry, you got to talk to him some more, man. They got to stop doing this wrong. Let's move on to week 2. You got the Dolphins and the Bills. AFC East matchup, man. In division rivals, Dolphins and Bills, man. It's going to be a great game to me. Josh Allen got a different receiving core. They traded Stephon Diggs in the offseason to the Houston Texans, giving C.J. Stroud a new weapon. And now Buffalo identity is going to be a little different, because they lost Gabe Davis also. So it's going to be a different Buffalo team, man. I think the kid name was Coleman out of Florida State, Keon Coleman. He seems like he's going to be really good. But outside of that, man, like the Bills got some questions on their team, but the Dolphins added OBJ. That's crazy, man. So to have them two play, it's going to be a great game to me. And Bengals and Chiefs, man. Who don't get up for Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes? I get up for that. This is this generation's version of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning matchups was so beautiful to watch. I used to love watching the Patriots and the Colts go up against each other. And now we have the Bengals and the Chiefs, man. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Week 2 is going to be crazy, man. And I love that game. That's my favorite game. Let's move on to week 3. I only got one game. It's the Cowboys and the Ravens. You have Lamar Jackson coming into Jerry's world. And, man, I really hope he stink up the place. I really do. I hope he stink up the place. Hey, Lamar, you don't have to play that game, and you don't have to play that well if you do play. But, look, it's going to be a good game. Man, Cowboys, tough schedule, Browns, Ravens. I mean, we're playing against the AFC North, so it's going to be tough, period, anyway. That's why I don't understand why the Ravens players had an issue with the schedule. Like, everybody have a tough schedule, man. So let's move on to week 4. One game again, Bills and Ravens. Going to be a good game. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Who's not going to get up for that? That's a great matchup. Can't wait to see that. Moving on to week 5, we have the Bills and the Texans, man. It's going to be a very good game. You got Josh Allen going up against C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, you add Stephon Diggs to his receiving core that was already not that bad. Not that bad. You still have everybody else pretty much coming back for their team. So the Texans are going to be I don't even think they're going to be, you can't even call them a dark horse. Because they were a dark horse last season in the playoffs. But this season, like, you can't really call them a dark horse because, I mean, they're legit. They have a legit top 10 quarterback already. C.J. Stroud played out of this world last year, man. So to give him Stephon Diggs is crazy. Now, which Stephon Diggs is he going to get? Is he going to get a Stephon Diggs that's focused and he's not going to be creating a whole lot of attention towards the team that they don't need? Or are they going to get a Stephon Diggs that's focused, locked in, and trying to be the best teammate that he can be? Because the Texans restructured Stephon Diggs' contract. So he's going to be a free agent after this season. So this is like he's playing for his next contract. And I think that was smart for Houston because I feel like the Houston Texans made a great move doing that because now you should get the best version of Stephon Diggs when you think about it because he's playing, it's a contract year for him. He had 2 or 3 years left on his deal, but they restructured it, like I said, and they gave him more money up front for this season. But after this season, he's a free agent. So I feel like that was a big move for the Texans. Don't want to stay on that game too long. But I'm just loving what Houston is doing. I might have to switch my team in Texas. I might have to switch from Dallas to Houston. But we're going to get to the next game. Dallas Cowboys, my Cowboys versus the Steelers. Going to be a great game. My boy V, my cousin V, man. Hey, OV, what y'all going to do? I hope y'all lose. I really want y'all to lose, but it's going to be a tough matchup. Playing any team in the AFC North is going to be tough. So Cowboys and Steelers, man, you get up for that. For me, being a long-time Cowboys fan since the 90s, and the Cowboys and the Steelers matchups in the 70s, and then you go to the one Super Bowl matchup, Neil O'Donnell throwing all them interceptions in the 96, 97 season. Last Super Bowl that the Cowboys won, by the way. But, hey, it's going to be a good matchup. Last but not least, the Ravens and the Bengals, man. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, AFC North game. Man, every single AFC North game is going to be explosive this season because it was explosive last season. So to have Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow this week, man, I love it. I love week 5. Week 6, Dallas Cowboys. My Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions just paid Jared Goff. I talked about that last episode. And man, like, don't get no better than this, man. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, both of them drafted same year. Jared Goff, the most successful quarterback so far between Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz. Matter of fact, it's really between Jared Goff and Carson Wentz because they were the top two quarterbacks. But we talked about that last week. If you want to hear about it, you can go listen to last week's episode. Shameless plug, but hey, it is what it is. Let's get to the next game. The Browns and the Eagles. Be a great game, man. Great game. Like I said, the Eagles, they got Saquon Barkley. The Browns defense was crazy last year. It's going to be a great game. Now, this next game, I'm putting the asterisk back because you don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing or not. I didn't put the Jets up. I put the Jets up here a couple of times, but all of them have asterisks by them because if Aaron Rodgers is not healthy and if their team is a clown fest again, a circus pretty much, they might not be that good. So it might not be a game to get up for, but I put it up here anyway. The Bills and the Jets. Josh Allen, maybe Aaron Rodgers if he don't get hurt again. We going to have to see about that one. But hey, it is what it is. Let's move on to week 7. The Chiefs and the 49ers. Super Bowl rematch, y'all. Who going to win this one, man? Chiefs and 49ers. Should be a good game. 49ers, we don't know what's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. They drafted a receiver out of the draft. Like, you still have Christian McCaffrey. You still have the Purdy, Mr. Purdy, man. Mr. Irrelevant, but he's been great for them, man. Brock Purdy been great for the 49ers. I can't hate on that. Even though I can't stand the 49ers. I don't know who I don't like more. Between every team in my division, especially the Commanders or the 49ers. I have a extreme hate for that's a strong word. I don't mean it in that way. Not in a malicious way, but I can't stand the 49ers or the Commanders. I don't know which team I don't like the most between them two, but I really can't stand them. The Browns and the Bengals. It's going to be another great game, man. Will Deshaun Watson stay healthy this whole season? I should have said that from the get-go, from week 1. I forgot about Deshaun Watson, that big contract that he got that reset the quarterback market. Fully guaranteed at that. I just can't wait to see this game between the Browns and the Bengals. Once again, like I said, Joe Burrow is back. Can't wait to see what they're going to do. T. Higgins haven't signed the franchise tag yet, y'all. What's going to happen with that? Can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. But it should be a good game. Last but not least, the Texans and the Packers, man. 2 up-and-coming young quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love. This should be a great matchup. Can't wait to see it, man. Let's move on to week 8. Browns and Ravens. Like I said, once again, AFC North games are crazy. They're all physical teams, and they all go at each other. Back and forth, back and forth. That's going to be a great game. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. Next game, the Eagles and Bengals. We're in week 8, y'all. Eagles and Bengals. That's going to be a great game. Hands down. You got Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, the 2 quarterbacks going head-to-head. That's going to be a great game. And last but not least, I get up for this game, y'all. The Cowboys and the 49ers. Didn't I tell y'all I can't stand the 49ers? Hey, South, I can't stand the 49ers, man. Can't stand the 49ers. He know who he is, man. My boy South. But look, the 49ers, man, can't stand them, yo. I hope we beat them, man. Got another. I ain't even gonna say his name because this dude don't even call me. He just texts me whenever his team beat mine. You know who you are. I'm not gonna say your name, man. I'm mad at you. Let's move on to week 9, man. Cowboys versus the Falcons. That's gonna be. I don't know what that game gonna be. But I got a lot of people that I know that like the Falcons, man. Starting off with Dub. I had him on the show episode 2, I think. Y'all can go check that out. Another shameless plug, but hey. Falcons, Cowboys. I know a couple people that like the Falcons, man. I hope we beat the hell out of them. But We shall see. Just for bragging rights, man. You know how we like to brag. Texans and Jets, asterisk. C.J. Stroud versus Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. I don't know how that's going to go, but, I mean, hopefully Aaron Rodgers come back this season, and hopefully he's a really good version of himself, I guess. Lions and Packers, man. Got a whole lot of games in week 9, man. Lions and Packers, that's going to be a great matchup, man. Jared Goff, Jordan Love, of course. Be a great matchup. Bills and Dolphins, oh my gosh, they went head and head last season, man. It was points galore. Excuse me. The Bills put some points up on the Dolphins first time they played. Second time, not so much. But it's going to be a great game, man. It's going to be a great game. The Cheetah, OBJ added to that receiving core, like I said. Bills, man, Josh Allen still there. Josh Allen Superman, so it's going to be a great game. Bengals and Ravens, that's going to be a good game. Got a Bengals fan that I know, man. Red guy. Might be a little orange, named Quan. He like the Ravens, man. Well, the Bengals, my bad. He like the Bengals. I don't know too many Bengals fans, but the Bengals are good. Let me stop poking, man. Joe Burrow, hands down one of my favorite quarterbacks, man. Lamar Jackson, of course, too. Bengals and Ravens, that's going to be a great game. Eagles versus the Cowboys, man. Hey, got big money. Big money, you know who you are, man. Eagles versus the Cowboys, man. I hope we beat the mess out of them. Blaze, we coming for you, man. I'm giving a lot of shout-outs, man. A lot of shout-outs for people. But look, the Cowboys and the Eagles, man, that's going to be a great game. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, hopefully both of them are healthy enough this week 10 right here. And it's going to be a great game. Lions versus the Texans. That's going to be a very good game also. I forgot about week 2. A matchup in week 2, the Eagles versus the Falcons. That's going to be a very good game. Blaze and Dub, two brothers. Battle of the Birds, they call it. That's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see who's going to win because of bragging rights. Whichever one of them lose, I will be joking them in the chat. But look, let's move on to week 11. Eagles versus the Commanders, man. Commanders, they putting together a good team. I can't hate on them, even though I kind of sort of hate them. But Jalen McDaniels, man, I've been hearing a lot of things coming out of camp that he is looking really good. But who can be shocked? Like you saw him play at LSU, man. He goes through his progressions very well. The only questions I have for him, for Jalen Daniels, we're talking about, y'all, for the Washington Commanders, was his size, weight-wise, because he's 6'4", but he's a skinny 6'4". He don't have that much weight, especially down low. And far as taking hits, like he took some hits in college, man, and I don't think you can take these same hits in the NFL and think that you're going to continue to be healthy the whole time. So that's the only thing that concerned me about Jalen Daniels, man. But outside of that, I mean, he's a baller, man. He can ball big time. So, hopefully, well, I don't like giving the Commanders props, man. They may have found their franchise quarterback, and that's okay for them. Ravens and Steelers, AFC North game, like I said, man, hey, when they get together, it's an explosion. Let's move on to the Chiefs and Bills. Great game. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, man. When they get together, they always give us some magic. Texans and Cowboys, Battle of Texas, man. I'm going to get back to that game. I'm going to go to, we're in week 11, just in case y'all lost y'all place, or I lost my place, because I know I mess up a lot, but bear with me. Seahawks versus the 49ers, that's going to be a great game. Another crazy matchup, like NFC West games, they be crazy too, man. Like, these teams could be, like the Cardinals, for instance. The Cardinals, they can be 2-12 and play against the 49ers and beat them. Same thing with the Seahawks. Like the Seahawks, this week 11, they could have a losing record, but they could easily beat the 49ers because that's how big their games are and that's how good they are. Now let's go backwards to the Battle of Texas. Who's going to win? Houston or the Dallas Cowboys? Houston Texans or the Dallas Cowboys? My Cowboys, please win this game, man. I don't even know if we beat the Texans since Houston got a team. Since Houston got their team back, I can't even remember my Cowboys beating them. And now they have C.J. Stroud. Come on, man. That's not fair. That's not fair. This is the Battle of Texas. Is this a battle for who's going to be my team? I don't know. We're gonna have to revisit that situation on another note. Let's move to week 12, y'all. Steelers versus Browns, AFC North. Y'all know what's gonna happen. They're gonna go down. I'm gonna say, I can't do this next game. 49ers versus Packers. Another great game. That's gonna be great. And the Ravens versus the Chargers. Another great game. But the game that I just skipped over, because I gotta spend some time on this. Cowboys versus the Commanders. My Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Don't talk no smack now. Talking about this y'all Super Bowl. This is what y'all get up for. Y'all get up to beat the Cowboys. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna see us, man. Week 11, y'all gonna see us. But hey, it is what it is. Should be a great game, y'all. Let me stop messing with the Commanders fans, man. Week 13. Dolphins versus the Packers, man. Come on now. Come on now. That's going to be a very good game to me. I think it's going to be a very good game. I like that matchup. Jordan Love, Tua, Tagovailoa. Hope I said that right. But Mr. Tua, man. Hopefully he gets his contract. He played great last season, and I think it's going to be even better this season against Jordan Love and the Packers. He's looking for a contract also. Hopefully he will get his. Both of them deserve to get paid. Two young quarterbacks, man. Love watching them both. Let's move on to the next game. Bengals, Steelers, AFC North. I told y'all, this game right here can definitely be a playoff decider. Playoff decider big time. But I guess we're going to have to see. Eagles versus the Ravens, man. That's going to be a very good game. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. Hopefully both of them are healthy by that time. Week 13 we're in, y'all. And I know it's going to be a good game. 49ers versus the Bills. Another good game, man. Can't wait for that matchup. Let's move on to week 14. We got the Packers versus the Lions. That's going to be a very good game. AFC North matchup once again. The Browns versus the Steelers. The Steelers have a lot of in division games late in the season, I'm noticing. That's crazy. Because week 12, they're playing the Ravens. And then week 11, they're playing the Ravens. Week 12, they're playing the Browns. Week 13, they're playing the Bengals. And now here we are, week 14, the Steelers are playing the Browns again. Man, the Steelers got a tough roll right there at the end of the season. But let's get back to the game. The Jets versus the Dolphins, man. That's going to be I don't know, man. I don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to be. I don't know why I got y'all hyped like I was about to get hyped. Chargers versus the Chiefs, man. Jim Harbaugh coaching the Chargers, new head coach. We're going to see what he can do. Last time he was in the league, man, he took the 49ers to a Super Bowl, and they lost that one too. Yeah, 49ers just lose Super Bowls. That's what they do. Can't stand them. But hey, let's get back into it. The Chiefs and the Chargers, man, that should be a good game. Bengals versus the Cowboys. Conrad took your money last time, man. My wallet is open. Remember that. But yeah, man, Bengals, Cowboys should be a good game. Dak Prescott wasn't there last time. Hopefully he should be healthy in week 14. Should be a great game. My wallet is open. Chiefs versus Browns. We in week 15. Week 15, Chiefs versus Browns. That's gonna be a great game. Dolphins versus the Texans. Another great game. Tua versus C.J. Stroud. That's gonna be a great game. Bills versus the Lions in week 15. That's gonna be a great game. Can't wait to see that. Week 16, we got the Browns versus the Bengals. That's gonna be a great game. Man, the AFC North, man, their end of the season schedule is tough. Okay, I understand what the gripe was for the Ravens down, because the Ravens got a nice little gauntlet going down the stretch, man. So yeah, that's crazy. Steelers and Ravens. Did I say the Texans and Chiefs? I said that. And the 49ers and the Dolphins. That's going to be a great game also. AFC North, man, they got messed up. But week 17, Ravens versus the Texans, man, that's gonna be a very good game. CJ Stroud versus Lamar Jackson playoff rematch, man. That's gonna be a great game. Can't wait to see it. Cowboys versus Eagles. Hey, Eagles, we're coming for y'all. I hope we win, man. Eagles are stacked, man. I try to hate on every team in my division, man, but our division got better except for the Giants. I mean, Giants, I don't know about them. But everybody else, man, Eagles and the Commanders, man, they're going to be tough, man. Week 17, Cowboys, Eagles, man, it's going to be a great game. My wallet is open once again for the y'all know who y'all are. Dolphins versus the Browns, man, that's going to be a great game. Astros by Jets versus the Bills, maybe, if we get Aaron Rodgers back, the Aaron Rodgers that we know. And the Lions versus the 49ers. That's going to be a great game. Week 17, great game. Lions versus the 49ers. Moving on to week 18, the final week. Got the Browns and the Ravens. All of these AFC North games late in the season, they're going to definitely be playoff seeding deciders and deciding if they're going to make the playoffs, period. That's going to be huge, man. And you got the Jets versus the Dolphins. Like I said, asterisk. Got Aaron Rodgers. You don't know if he's going to be healthy. But the Commanders versus the Cowboys. We outside again, man. What's going to happen? We going to see y'all. Because, John, we going to see y'all, man. We going to see y'all. But, hey, we going to have to see what's going to happen in that matchup. I feel like, all in all, man, this NFL schedule, it's going to be a great season. I hope everybody stays healthy. I hope we get all of the quarterbacks healthy in the games that count, man. And let's just hope for a great season. But like I said, we're going to be hurry up and waiting again. But we're going to have to see. Who do y'all think is going to be the league MVP this year, man? It's always a quarterback, but which quarterback will it be? You got Defensive Player of the Year. That's going to be huge. You know, Stack chasing Micah Parsons. I'm pretty sure he's going to be going for that. Let me leave my Cowboys alone, man. Hey, Micah, I like you a lot, man. I just don't want you chasing stacks, man. Let's get some team wins. Let's get a Super Bowl. Forget individual accolades. But, yeah, you got league MVP. Who y'all think going to win? Who do y'all think is going to be in the Super Bowl, man? I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction. I'm going to go with the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. And this year, coming out of the NFC, barring injury, I believe that the Eagles, if the Eagles can stay healthy, I believe that the Eagles can get to the Super Bowl. So I got the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. My MVP this year, of course, if the Chiefs go, then you would think that Patrick Mahomes would have won the MVP award. But for MVP, I'm going to go out on a limb. And yes, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott team is not as good this year, going into this year. And if he can get us 12 wins again and get us to the playoffs, I believe he deserves the MVP trophy. Y'all can argue with me if y'all want to. It is what it is. Offensive Player of the Year, man. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to have to say maybe Justin Jefferson. I didn't put the Vikings on any of the schedule because I don't know what J.J. McCartney is going to be for the Vikings. But I don't know. Justin Jefferson can be in the running for Offensive Player of the Year big time. You got other players like Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. The Offensive Player of the Year usually go to skill position players. You know, MVP always go to quarterback. But I'd like to know what y'all think. But we're going to have to see, man. We got a couple of months to wait. For now on, you can watch the UFL if you want to. I haven't been watching it, but if it's any good, let me know. No, let me stop. I tune into a few games, and they're all right, but it's still not the NFL. But I guess I should give them a better chance. But what y'all think, man? Let me know. We're gonna get into the next segment. So, the NBA playoffs, moving papers around, y'all. NBA playoffs, man, getting hot. Getting real hot up in here, man. You got the Western Conference Finals starting this week and the Eastern Conference Finals starting this week. But we cannot skip over what happened over the weekend, man. The Knicks were defeated by the Indiana Pacers. New York Knicks defeated by the Indiana Pacers, man. It's unfortunate because the Knicks just ran out of players. I believe that if the Knicks were fully healthy, they would have definitely been able to beat the Pacers. Now, I'm not going to say in 5 like Stephen A. said, but I will say they definitely would have won this game 7 if they had Julius Randle and OG was healthy and Robinson was healthy and Jalen Brunson wouldn't have gotten hurt. I feel like they definitely would have beat the Pacers, and they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals right now with the Celtics. But that's not the game that we have. We have the Celtics versus the Pacers. Game 1 is tonight. I'm recording on Tuesday, so by the time this come out, the results of this game will be out too. Who I'm taking in Game 1? I mean, I guess the game like I said, the game gonna be over by the time this come out. But I feel like I say the Celtics, but I feel like far as let me ask a better question. Who needs the game more? Who needs Game 1 more for the Eastern Conference Finals? I'm gonna have to say that the Pacers need it more because I feel like it's important for them to steal home court advantage from the Celtics. The Celtics don't play that good at home, and we don't know the status of Porzingis. It's being told that he will be missing the first 2 games, so that's gonna be costly because you got Miles Turner. You need somebody to check him. So it's gonna be interesting, but I feel like this is definitely Jason Tatum's time to really step up and show how good he is. Like people have been saying he's been disappearing in games, late in games. And I mean, I'm not gonna piggyback on that, but at the same time I can see the reasoning why people would be saying that. So I feel like it's the Celtics' time, really. Like, if the Celtics had a great chance of any to win another NBA championship with the group that they have now, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, I feel like this is definitely their best chance this year to win the championship. Especially with Drew Holiday being on their team. Like Drew Holiday, he helped the Bucks get to a championship back in 2021. So they have somebody on their team that can really help them get over the hump. Not saying that they haven't been there because they played against the Golden State Warriors the year before last and lost. But they were younger. So they know what to do more now. They know what to do. So I feel like this is definitely the Celtics' best chance to win a championship this year, but we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. As far as this series itself, Eastern Conference Finals, the Pacers, man, they're a tough team. They're a tough team. And Tyrese Halliburton, man, like I like him. Y'all saw him in the the Reggie Miller hoodie with Reggie Miller doing the choking sign that he did to Spike Lee back when he put those points up on him. And Patrick Ewing, he missed that finger roll at the rim. Tough series, man. I love watching the Pacers and the Knicks. But yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, man, he's great, man. He's really coming into his own. He played for the Sacramento Kings early in his career before he was traded to the Pacers. We all know why that trade happened. I mean, they had De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox was looking good, and him and Tyrese played the same position. Why keep both and have to pay both and figure out how to play both at the same time? So I feel like the Kings, they had to make that trade, and plus they got back Domantas Sabonis in that trade. He helped them last season in the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Kings didn't make the playoffs this year. The West was stacked, man. You got teams that won over 40 games that couldn't make the playoffs, lost in the play-in tournament. So, I feel like whoever come out of the West, they definitely have a great chance of winning the championship. But as far as this series, I know I got off topic. The question was, who do I feel like is going to win this series and represent the Eastern Conference? My gut feeling tells me the Boston Celtics because they always figure out a way. I feel like Jason Tatum, if he's not on, Jaylen Brown's going to be on. If both of them is on, good luck. And if you throw in Drew Holiday, I mean, come on now. Like, I mean, this Celtics team can definitely win without Porzingis. But I guess we just gonna have to wait. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So let's move on to what happened this Saturday in the semifinals of the West, man. Nuggets versus the Timberwolves, Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, this game was great, man. I watched the whole game, and the Nuggets were up in Game 7 most of the game until the fourth quarter started. And actually in the third quarter, the second half period, the Timberwolves played their best second half in the whole freaking season. I feel like that was the best game that I'm talking about Jalen. Sorry, Anthony Edwards played this whole season. He only had 16 points, but I say that because he showed something different, man. Like, even though he had 16 points, the bulk of those points were scored in the fourth quarter. Not only that, he took the assignment of checking Jamal Murray, who was torching them in the first half. Jamal Murray was killing them in the first half. And for Anthony Edwards to take that assignment, man, that says a lot about him. And they definitely changed the game, man. They were playing slower. Anthony Edwards said that, his coach told him to play faster, told the whole team to play faster. And that changed the game, man. Nas Reed off of the bench. That was he was huge in the game. Cat, he chose Game 7 to play his best basketball, man. You even had Rudy Gobert out there hitting fadeaways and mess, man. Like, it was just the Timberwolves' time, man. I'm proud of Cat. Cat, he makes some boneheaded fouls and boneheaded decisions on the floor at times, period. But to see him in that moment, rise up and really help his team get over that hump, that's big for him. And the more that he win, especially if the Timberwolves win the championship this season, which is going to be huge, I think that's really going to erase the mark that Jimmy Butler put on him. Remember, Jimmy Butler said that he was soft, him and Andrew Wiggins, and that haven't left Cat yet. That haven't left Karl-Anthony Towns yet. So if he can win this championship and have the one up over Jimmy Butler, the guy that called him soft, I'm pretty sure he's gonna rub it in his face. But we're gonna have to wait and see if that happens. Also, I posed a question on YouTube, man. Did we witness the passing of the torch, or did Anthony Edwards take the torch? Got an answer, and someone said that, if he got through KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and then, went on to get through Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, then, yeah, he definitely took the torch. But for me, he's not done yet. He's not done yet. He haven't won a championship. You got past the defending champs. You got to beat the man to be the man, Ric Flair. They got past the defending champs, and they eliminated them, but it's not over. They still got to win the championship. That's no different from the Golden State Warriors back in 2016, winning 74 games. They broke the Bulls record. But you would never remember that team because they didn't close the deal. They didn't win the championship. So, as far as Denver, okay, so Mike Malone, he came out. How do y'all feel about Mike Malone coming out and saying that his team played so many games and how he felt about it? Like, he felt like they played a lot of games. And a lot of people on these sports platforms, they've been saying that he's making excuses for his team. But for me, I see it in a different way. I feel like he definitely blocked or put a shield, like he's taking the blow for his team. Now, we're talking about Mike Malone because of what he said. So you want coaches like that. So he's pretty much taking the blow for his team. But I have to say that I look at it a different way. I do agree with him. That's a lot of basketball. Like, they played over 100 games last season, man, to win that NBA title. And to come back and go through another long season. He said they went through another long season and they chased the second seed versus resting players. That he might do something, he might do the opposite next year and just try to focus on getting in the playoffs and resting players. So he was saying that his team was tired, and of course, like over 100 games, like I said, that's a lot of basketball. But with that being said, how do the LeBron haters feel about this? Now, yeah, LeBron said it's basketball last series. It's just basketball. That's what LeBron said. But LeBron went to 9 straight finals, man. NBA finals. And I just said that the Nuggets played over 100 games. LeBron played over 100 games for 9 straight seasons. Is he gonna get any credit for that? 9 seasons, over 900 games. Come on, man. You can hate on LeBron all you want, and I hate to make this about LeBron and throw him in there, but if Mike Malone is saying his team was tired, and I'm backing him saying, yeah, when you're playing that many games, it takes a toll on your body. LeBron went to 9 straight finals, man. Give him his flowers, y'all. Stop hating. For the haters, stop hating. Do that in there, but hey. But yeah, like I was saying, man, that it was tough seeing the Nuggets lose like that. They was definitely up. They were in control of the game, but they just couldn't get the job done, man. And for Anthony Edwards, man, he's only 22, almost 23, or I don't know when he turns 23. But man, to be this young in your career, man, and be in the Western Conference Finals already, this is big. I tell you this: if Anthony Edwards win the title this year, well, his whole team, like I said, Cat, he's gonna have the bragging rights over Jimmy Butler. I know he can't wait. But if Anthony Edwards win, he's definitely gonna jump Jason Tatum. He's gonna jump Luka because Timberwolves play the Mavericks, by the way. It's gonna be a great matchup. We're gonna get into that. He's gonna jump Luka. He's gonna jump Jason Tatum. He's gonna jump Jalen Brunson. He's just gonna be the man. Anthony Edwards will be the man if the Timberwolves win the title this year. Now let's get to the Mavericks. I want to get the Mavericks some love, man. I love this version of Kyrie Irving that we're seeing, man. He's definitely he's making plays. Like he's finally figured out how to be a true number 2. And not a number 2 that wishes he was number 1. Because that's how it was when him and LeBron played in Cleveland. You know? And I feel like he really wanted to be number 1. He felt like he was number 1. That's why he forced his way out. And that's why they made the trade. And traded him to the Boston Celtics. Kyrie Irving we're talking about. So, with that being said, like, I just really feel like this version of Kyrie is probably the best version that ever of Kyrie. And I'm pretty sure we all can agree with that. Luka, man, he's not healthy. We know Jalen McDaniels can definitely play some great defense. How effective he's gonna be on Luka? Like, I mean, Luka on one leg, man, he was getting at the Thunder. Like they beat the Thunder. The Mavericks. The Mavericks is my dark horse to make it to the NBA Finals. And the reason I say that is because Luka wasn't full strength, but he beat the Thunder, a very good team, the number 1 seed, in 6 games on one leg, man. I mean, that's great. And like I said, this is the best version we have of Kyrie Irving. And then the pieces around him. You have P.J. Washington, who they got at the trade line, by the way. Daniel Gafford got at the trade deadline. So Dallas made moves to put themselves in a position to win. That's something that the Lakers should learn how to do and how to pick a coach. But hey, get back to the point. The Dallas Mavericks, man, I picked them to be in the finals. I picked the Dallas Mavericks to be in the finals against the Boston Celtics. So there goes my answer. My question to y'all: who do y'all think is gonna come out of the West? I'm going with the Mavericks. I'm sticking with my pick. I picked them not on this podcast, but amongst friends. We talked about it. I picked them to go to the championship. Them and the Celtics. So I'm going with the Mavericks. I feel like they have it all. Like they have the right role players. And they have the right stars aligning. Everything is aligning for the Dallas Mavericks right now. And they definitely have the best coach in Jason Kidd. Like Jason Kidd, he's done a tremendous job. And I feel like out of all the coaches left, he's also the best coach. But a lot of times, let's say who is the best player left in the playoffs right now? If I had to pick, I'm going with Luka. Even with one leg, I'm going with Luka. Like I said, he beat the Thunder on one leg. Anthony Edwards been great. I'm not taking anything away from Anthony Edwards. He's been great the whole playoffs. But I gotta go with Luka. He's the best player standing. I feel like the Mavericks gonna make it to the championship. I feel like the Mavericks can and possibly will win the championship. But who do y'all think? And how do y'all feel about the matchups? Western Conference Finals, are y'all happy with that matchup? Timberwolves versus the Mavericks. And the Eastern Conference Finals, are y'all happy with that matchup? The Celtics versus the Pacers. Not saying you guys team, of course. But with that being said, man, that's my picks, man. I got the Mavericks and the Celtics in the NBA Finals. And I have the Mavericks winning the NBA championship. And I got Luka Doncic taking home the Finals MVP. Kyrie Irving, he gets his long-awaited second ring. Luka gets his first. Can Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves do it? Most definitely. They play some crazy defense, but I'm just going for what I see. What do y'all think? Let's get into the next segment. So, over the weekend, we saw a crazy video. I'm going to say listener discretion. What I'm about to talk about, I feel like if you're listening with a child or anything, you probably should listen to this by yourself. Put your headphones in. Because the video that we seen this past weekend between Diddy and, for me, finding out that it was Cassie in that video, it was disgusting, man, and very disturbing. First of all, when I seen the video, I was sitting down, and when I saw it, first thing I saw was Diddy. I didn't even read anything else. So when I saw this figure running down the hallway in a bath towel, I was just like, who is that? Even after seeing the name Diddy at the top. And then after that, once he got to the elevators and he grabbed this woman and threw her on the floor and then kicked her, I was like, this can't be real. And then stomped her in the leg after that. And I'm still saying to myself, this can't be real. No, this can't be real. And then proceeded to try to drag her back to the room. And I'm still in my head, I'm still like, what in the world? And by this time I realized it was Diddy, but I didn't know who the young lady was, because when he threw her on the floor and kicked her and stomped her, like I said, and tried to drag her, her hood came off. So when her hood came off, I was like, man, she looks pretty young. Well, come to find out, it was Cassie. So let's go back a little bit first. Well, I don't even want to go back. This happened March of 2016. This is something that Cassie said in a lawsuit that happened, and it's disgusting, man. Just to watch and to see a woman get handled like that by a man. Like, we supposed to protect our women. We don't supposed to put our hands on them and forcefully, try to harm them. Like, that's not what we supposed to do. Not as men. And to see that happen to her, and just happen to any woman, period, it's just sad. It's just sad. So, man, all I can say is prayers definitely go out to Cassie, man, first and foremost. I pray that she really is over this portion of her life. She said that she went through 10 years, a decade of this, man. I think they got together in 2017, and they was over with by 2018. But she went through this for a decade, man. And just imagine the women that went through that even longer than that. It's a lot of women that didn't survive, man. So I mean, prayers go out to not just Cassie, but also domestic violence survivors, and to the families of, unfortunately, domestic violence. People, women that passed away because of it. It's sad, and I feel like as human beings, we should have a greater respect for each other, to just keep our hands to ourselves. Period. I mean, domestic violence is just not, a man striking a woman. It can also be a woman striking a man. But in this case, not deflecting from it, Diddy definitely deserves everything that's coming to him, man. That was sad to watch. Getting into what she alleged that he did to her throughout this relationship is awful. Like I said, discretion is advised, because I'm about to get into some graphic details. So they had a decade-long relationship, and Cassie alleged that she experienced a cycle of abuse, violence, sex trafficking, and also being raped by Diddy, allegedly raped by Diddy in 2018 when she tried to leave him. Like I said, allegedly used her in so-called quote-unquote freak-offs, forcing her to engage in sexual acts with sex workers involving lots of drugs. Allegedly made her perform sexual acts with sex workers and using lots of drugs during the process. And they were called freak-offs. Also, like I said, you got the alleged 2018 rape when she tried to leave him. It's just tough to talk about, man. Like, this is awful, man. And talking about Cassie, like, I can't help but to think about my own mom. And I feel like I'm talking about my mom. Fortunately, she's still with me today, but, just thinking about this and talking about it is bringing back what I witnessed her go through. I witnessed her getting struck. I witnessed, the breaking in the house from, my own dad breaking in the house and, forcing himself on my mom. Of course, I didn't know. I'm just thinking Dad is home, not knowing that he forcefully entered the house and forced himself on my mom. So to hear this, Cassie going through this, man, like for a whole decade, she alleged that he did all these different things. Now, the violence part and the abuse, I mean, hey, it's on video. You see what he did. And seeing the way that he did it was awful. I mean, you can't even come up with a word to even say or even fathom like what was going on. Like, that is crazy, man. That's crazy what he did. It was crazy looking at it. I mean, how do y'all feel about if you had a family member or a close friend or anyone that that's been through this situation? I just say just give them a big hug, man. Especially if they're not in it anymore. If they're still in it, we have to practice helping each other out. And when we see something that's not looking right, forget all of this culture of not snitching, not calling the cops. No, call the authorities. Call whoever you need to call to get your friend, your family member, whoever away from that person until they're away from that person, because a lot of times it don't end well. It do not end well. And it's sad, and when women are in that situation, a lot of times they blame themselves. Diddy was 37 years old when he started dating Cassie as a teenager. She was only 19. So my other question is, what in the heck can a 37-year-old see in a 19-year-old? First of all, the age gap is so far apart to where how can y'all relate? Besides when it comes to that sex area. And even with that, even with her being over 18, she's still a teenager. Cassie alleged that in 2007, Diddy pressured her into start dating her. He pressured her to date him. I know firsthand peer pressure is hard. And she decided to date him out of fear of retaliation. Now why would she be thinking about retaliation as far as if she decided not to date someone? We're talking about an individual that's we seen on TV Making the Band. We all watched Making the Band. We all watched him looking for an assistant and all these crazy things he would have him doing. Like he really showed a different side of him. And we all thought it was funny. Oh, it's for show. It's for show. But in actuality, like this is a monster, man. It's a monster. And it's sad that it's 2024 and we're seeing I'm seeing a lot of my heroes and a lot of people that I looked up to really turn out to be something that I thought that I never would have imagined them to be. To see that tape, I just, like I said, to me, I couldn't believe it at first because I'm just like, I know this not Diddy. I know this not the guy that, I watched team up with Mace and Biggie Smalls and Break Black Rob and Day 26, Danity Kane, all these different acts, man. Like, 112. This guy did this. It's just sad. It's just sad. And like I said, it's just sad that this had to happen to Cassie. And when things like this come out, like, so all this stuff was alleged, and this was back in November of 2023 when the lawsuit came, and Cassie, accused Diddy of this, and they settled out of court. And like I said, we see definitely that the violence was true, and I don't see why she had a reason to lie about this. But as men, and I don't want to bring up this particular person's name, but as men and all the men that decided to come out and try to trash her and try to make it seem like she was going for money, she was looking for a payday. It was almost like she either got what she deserved. That's how it was sounding. I'm not saying that's what guys said, but people were making it sound like she wanted his money or she needed his money, and that was far from the truth. Like, how can you come up with that? And she's alleging all these things. Imagine your daughter. Imagine your daughter, your mama, your sister, your cousin, close female friend, whoever you have, coming up to you and telling you what Cassie alleged that Diddy did to her for a whole decade. How would you react? Would you automatically assume? And let's say this guy was a big figure, or this guy had deep pockets. Would you accuse your mom or your sister or your cousin or any family member or any friend that's close to you that's a female? Would you accuse them of being a gold digger and trying to go after his money after she told you what this person did to her? Would you believe that? Or would you feel the same way that a lot of guys came out about Cassie and tried to trash her about this? See, we got to learn how to not only protect our women, but we got to learn how to stay neutral. First, come out and support. If any woman says that this is what happened to her, you need to support, hug, love on her, and ask whatever you can do about it. Ask what you can do for them versus coming out and just assuming that you know what she's about, know what type of person she is, know that, it's all her. We need to learn how to not do that. As men, we got to protect our women, man. And when they say this is what happened, we got to condone them. We have to hug them, comfort them. Comfort them, hug them, pull them to, and love on them and ask whatever you can do versus jumping out on a limb and just saying, oh, she's this, she's that. That's not fair. So we need to use this as a learning lesson. It shouldn't have to be one. As men, it shouldn't take a video to make us realize, oh man, I was wrong. I'm sorry, Cassie. No, it's too late for your sorries. It was sad, and y'all took the side of the man. Meanwhile, when men, mostly black men, go out here and get in trouble, something get wrong, we get killed on camera by a cop, and then all of our women are marching for us, taking up for us, having our backs. O.J. Simpson, rest in peace. Well, we know what he did. Black women had his back. This is the same man that said I'm not black. I'm OJ. Everyone had his back. Most recently, Jonathan Majors involved with a white woman. Not trying to put colorism in it, but it's what happened. He gets in trouble. What he did was totally wrong too. But before then, who was backing him? Automatically, black women. We got to support our black women. We got to protect our black women. In cases like these, it's very important. It's very important. But not just that. We got to learn how to keep our hands to ourselves, man. If you get enraged to a point to where you feel like you have to put your hands on a woman, you need to exit. And not just that, you need to go seek out help. Because as a human being, to get that enraged and want to put your hands on anyone, let alone a man wanting to put his hands on a woman, is something going on in your life that you may need some therapy and some help for. But moving forward, let's make it as men, and especially as black men, let's make it a point to protect our women, man. Not just like it should have been started. I'm protecting mine. I've been protecting mine. Ain't nobody gonna do anything to mine. But as a total whole, and when it comes to this social media thing, and our women is coming out and they're saying what's going on with them, we need to love on them, we need to protect them, and we need to make sure we big up them like they big up us when we getting beat down or killed on camera. We need to be just as strong for them as they are always strong for us. So with that being said, like I said, prayers and condolences go out to all of the victims of domestic violence that unfortunately are not able to be here with us. And definitely a big up of support and prayers to those who are still here with us, praying for comfort, praying for them to continue to get through and get past what happened to them. Cassie, we're praying for you, and we're going to have a quick moment of silence for those who are not here because of domestic violence. Okay, getting into this week's Let's Talk About It segment. Let's talk about it, y'all. I posed a question this week, and the question this week was, Who is appreciated more in a relationship? A cheap man or a cheap woman? How do y'all feel about that? I didn't get any comments when I put it out, but hopefully if you hear the podcast, you can give some input. If you know me, we can talk about it or whatever. But for those who don't know me, just get in the comments and we can talk about it also. Cheap man or cheap woman, who's appreciated more? For me, I would definitely have to say it would be a woman. My wife is cheap, and I appreciate the hell out of her, because a cheap woman, like, I love a cheap woman. My wife is cheap, and the reason I love her for being cheap is because I can easily give her any card, debit card, credit card, whatever, and more than likely, she's gonna come back and she didn't charge up that much whatsoever, maybe $50. Now, the woman that's not cheap, hey, I pray for the guys that's out there that's dealing with that. Hey, I'm hoping you working extra hours or just making it, or just got it like that to afford her. But cheap women, I feel like definitely hands down is appreciated more than a cheap man. Cheap man, I don't know any woman that appreciates a cheap man besides a cheap woman. But if the woman not cheap and the man cheap, that's not gonna work. I just don't think it would work. Because you got a cheap man, and imagine a cheap man giving his woman his card or his credit card and telling her, yeah, baby, you can only charge up to $50 on this. She gonna look at him like he crazy, man. That ain't gonna fly. When it come to restaurants, you know, she may be thinking about, yeah, we about to go to Ruth's Chris or something like that, and the man take her to Outback. No offense to both restaurants, but it's a difference, you know. It's a difference. So I just don't think a cheap man is appreciated as much as a cheap woman is. But hey, I'm gonna leave y'all up to debate about it. What do y'all think? My opinion is definitely cheap women are out here winning. My wife is a cheap woman, and I love her for being cheap. And I'm not a cheap guy, but I'm just, you know, cheap women are winning out here. What y'all think? But outside of that, man, I would like to thank y'all once again for joining us once again this week on the Ill Chill Will Show. I pray that the rest of y'all week is pleasant. I hope we don't get any other crazy news, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Y'all stay safe out there. Don't forget, every Thursday, the Ill Chill Will Show is dropping a new episode on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. You can find me under the Ill Chill Will Show on social media. If you would like to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I go by the same handle on both. It's at Ill Chill _Will on TikTok and Instagram. And if you want to follow me on X, that's where I post a lot of polls and just talk about the games or whatever. On X, you can find me at Ill _Chill _Will. With that being said, y'all, it's my time, and I'll see y'all next time at the same time. Peace and blessings. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Thank you.